Hi, we're Floral Terrace, and I'm Justin.
I'm George.
I'm John.
And you're watching Eric
live on the air.
It's a pause, a cause to be free tonight. Daddy's got a one-shot Clover. She let her luck dishonor. I can't feel its two ways. Saved from that one-shot reason. She left her heart in treason. I can't feel its two ways.
Alright, so I am here with.
We are Floral Terrace. I'm George. This is
I'm Justin.
I'm John.
I'm Terrence.
And can you also say what each one of you does for the band?
Sure. I play guitar and sing.
I play the microphone badly.
I drum awesomely.
Hype man.
The whole thing has pretty much been like a really big highlight in my life in general. Just everything we've done, like all the traveling, all the shows, meeting all the people, meeting all the kids, and doing whatever, like just, it's wild. Like I never thought I would do anything like this at all, and I don't know. If I could go back to tell my 16-year-old self what I was doing now and what I have done, his little mind would be blown. Absolutely.
No, it's really cool, like going like the different shows, like when you're not from home, like going out through the country and seeing like people come out and see us. It's a really good sight, and makes you feel good inside. It's really that's my highlight. It makes me feel pretty good.
For me, I've been doing this for 11 years, and with my first band, we did a bunch of shows with some bands that wound up getting like really, really big. And I thought, wow, I'll never do that again. That was a one-time deal. And then when I made my second band, we did some shows with some bands that wound up being really, really big. And I was like, well, I'll never do that again twice now. And then what's been cool about this band is that we hit that kind of same. Now for me, I'm kind of like used to it. I'm like, okay, what awesome people am I going to be surrounded with that wind up taking over the world? And sure enough, with our band, we've actually done it several times. It's not just been once that we toured with some bands that are now pretty much like on top of the world.
But I mean, as for some of the bands that we would hang with like back in the day and everything, the first one was the Ready Set. And I mean, who doesn't know that name these days? We did stuff with it. We actually experienced one of the worst nights of our life in conjunction with him. I don't know. I would take forever to explain it. Van broke down, long drive, negative like 30-degree, blizzard, and we were on tour with him, and we ended up running into each other at the same gas station, and they took this horrible picture of us. That's so pretty bad. But that was a very interesting month of our life. I mean, it was a good, we did like maybe like 3 weeks or so with those guys, and that was a lot of fun. But that night in particular really sticks out.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a very good night.
No, we'll tell you after this. It would literally take up the rest of the interview. It takes 40 minutes to tell my friends. So, sheesh. But yeah, that was a good 3 weeks. But that night in particular stands out. We did another tour with him, and the next tour with him was with Backseat Goodbye as well. And Chad does amazing things. We did another tour with Goot, who's like a YouTube
he's
guru,
like a YouTube
phenomenon
sensation.
kind of guy. Yeah, YouTube sensation. That same tour was with We Are the In Crowd, but at the time they were just the In Crowd.
They did change their name, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did, yeah. We caught it before the name change. I think that was like their first tour, I think. We just did a tour with Fresh and 15, who's
One of our first shows was Artist vs. Poet.
yeah, Artist vs. Poet, and Racing Kites. They were popping for a while. Yeah, I think they broke up a little while ago. What else? We got some others, I think.
That's what I'm saying. They're so like it's cool that I was.
We done random shows with like From 6 Kids at the Lights, just stuff like that, random things. But I think that pretty much encompasses it.
When I had my old amp, it used to like turn off during the set, and the only way to just turn off. Like I have no idea. The only way to get it back on though was to smack it repeatedly on the top. So it would be us playing, and I'd take the guitar off and start smacking my amp repeatedly, like giving it a good
some
smack.
really big shows that we've been like ready to play, and we're like, "Are we ready?" And George goes, "Hold on." Whack.
It would work though, but I'd be smacking it, and everyone. It depends.
So let's stop misbehaving.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on how much of a beating it wanted, I guess.
One time we were in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Crock Rock?
Crock Rock. I played that stage before, and it was, you know, cool and this and that. But this one particular day, one of the subs had been moved out, so there was maybe like a half a foot gap, and not once, but twice was I rocking out to do my thing, and my foot fell in between the stage and the sub, and I didn't just trip, I straight up fell into the stage, my whole leg. I was up to my into the stage. I was bruised up like crazy after, but not only did I do it once, and I didn't skip a beat singing. I kept singing, but in the stage, and I noticeable. Also, there was a time in Suffern, basically a local show, and we had the sound wasn't too good, so we were on like a backtrack, like samples and stuff. So we brought like our own speaker for it, like our own powered speaker and whatnot.
He's so popular.
So popular. And we had it on stage to run our sample so it wouldn't mud up the front of the house or whatever. And I tripped over it backwards in the middle of a song.
You gotta stop falling.
I know.
Just one time in Iowa, there's a curfew in the state of Iowa, and they like kick people out of clubs at 9 or 10 o'clock. And we played a smaller club, so it was 9 o'clock, and I forgot. And I was hanging out with my buddies from Iowa, and we're BSing and having a great time. And one of the guys from Paradise Fears, Marcus to be exact, runs out and he goes, "Dude, what the hell are you doing?" And I go, "What are you doing, Marcus?" And he like looks, he's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Marcus, get the hell away from me. What are you talking about? You're freaking me out right now." And he's like, "Dude, your whole band's on stage tuning and getting ready and nobody can find you." And I look down at my phone and it's like 6 o'clock. And I'm like, "Dude, it's 6 o'clock. What the hell?" And he's like, "Dude, there's a curfew in Iowa. The show started at fucking like, FN, delete that, whatever." He's like, "Dude, there's a curfew in Iowa. The show started at 5. Where have you been?" And I was like, "I'm clearly hanging out with my buddies from Iowa. I didn't know." And he's like, "Yeah, well, just go get your drums on. Do what you got to do." So I rushed my drums on. Blah, blah, blah. I was all bent out of shape. Not like pissed off, but just disoriented, you know what I mean? Like 1 second, having a couple of beers with my buddies and we're chilling and we're running around Des Moines having a great time. Next thing you know is I'm on stage. There was like probably about 100 people there, nothing too crazy, but I mean, it was like, okay, there's enough people here that like, I gotta like give these guys a good performance. So I was like trying to kind of focus like a bunch of things at once, and I wound up playing pretty good, but the first song, I played it awfully, I was messing up, I wasn't landing anything, and then I ended the song a good 40 seconds too early. And what was worse is I then realized that not only did I end it 40 seconds early, but on every fourth that I thought maybe it ends on this 4, it didn't. Maybe it ends on that 4, it doesn't. And like I just kept on like on every measure being like, "Oh, let's just see if it ends here." And finally, like I was like, "Does it end here?" And it did. Finally, and I got through.
Late winter is definitely when we're gonna start releasing like some singles and some of what we've been doing, and then touring springtime, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not exactly hiatus. It's sort of just
A not rushing period.
We're taking our time, really. You know. Well, we're taking some time off from show. Well, we have random shows. Obviously, we're sitting here at a show, but we toured pretty much almost like 7 or 8 months straight already. 2011. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. 8 months. Yeah. I was home when the month of September started. We had only been home 3 months in 2011, or 3 weeks in 2011. 3 weeks we had spent home collectively, because we do 2 days here, a week here, day there, and so yeah, we're using so much. We're hoping earned time off, and we're working this and that, building up some money so we can go blow it again on the road. It's always One Shot Clover.
Yeah, I'd say like the fan favorites either One Shot Clover or actually, believe it, a lot of our old stuff that we don't play anymore. And like a lot of times they'll come to the show. Like we'll get a couple fans like requesting some of the old stuff, and we'll do it. But it's not part of our set really. I'd say we're trying to move away from that style. We're actually the stuff we're writing now is a little bit different, a little more up to like what's pop, what's on the radio now. So I mean. We'll see how that works out, but you're always going to get the fans that always want the old stuff. You know, like how many bands do you see that you wish they played the old stuff and they're playing the new stuff? I think
As much as I like new stuff, it's like I still want to hear the old stuff.
exactly. So I mean, like you can never get away from that. But I mean, hopefully they dig the new stuff too. You know.
Everything.
Yeah, we're trying to put a little bit of everything that actually has worked in music. We're trying to put it all into one style. I mean, it's gonna have that dancey feel, like what's on. I'd say it's gonna have that like radio feel, but also we're not gonna limit ourselves to that. We're gonna have more of a. I'd say like we're gonna add like
everything.
pop music, hardcore. We're gonna add everything together, and like hopefully it all works out into one. You know, I would say. I mean,
that pretty much sums it up. We've been discussing it a lot, and that's pretty much what we've come up with over the last couple of days, at least.
I especially think that the format of how people listen to records is going to change, and has already changed, because it used to be like bands, I don't want to say change their sound, but bands' sound used to evolve per record. You know, like a band like Blink-182 started in the 90s, a little rough around the edges kind of 90s. And then towards the late 90s, it kind of changed a little bit, and they put out Enema of the State. And then you have that time period where they were just clean cut, and you knew what their next record was going to be. Everybody was like, okay, we know what they're going to sound like now. And then you hit that period where you go, all right, now it's time to really take our sound for a walk. I think that evolution that, say, took Blink-182 10 years from 95 to 05, for example, I think that now that evolution is happening very quickly. And take a band like us, who's number one, never sold 17 million records, by far, not even close. And then you take a band like us, who's also only been a band 3 years. We've felt those transitions, and same with every other band out there right now. We've all felt those transitions and went through those phases in a very short period of time, and that's because of the technology jump that we had. Our rough around the edges period was September 08. And then we had We Almost Know What We're Doing in 2009. And then we had our 2010, which is that song One Shot Clover that people kind of know a lot. And then we had our 2011 of, all right, what the hell do we do now? And in the middle of writing that, things are changing even further, and you got the, you know, people can dive into a record in an hour and hit our whole discography in an hour, because the internet is just like right there. So I think that one of the things we're going to do as we write the next CD is, number one, it's going to change a lot. I think we're going to have some songs that, you know, and I'm sure George would agree, we're going to have some songs that are going to change a lot from when we write them. We think what they sound like, and when we finally record them sometime next year, who knows how many different lives and faces some songs are going to have, because they're going to start out digital, then I'm going to drum on them, and then by that time we might decide to just change the whole friggin' song, because that's just where things are at. 2012, I mean, technology is just, everything is changing way too fast, and I think it's, for us, it's kind of like we are just kind of looking at all the changes and just kind of welcoming them. I don't think we're really looking like, oh, screw this, we're gonna stick to what we know. Like, no, I think we're a band that's gonna open up our realm further. Like, who knows, we might have an accordion, because, you know, I mean, just because, like, we're like, whoa, an accordion would rule here. I mean, I just think that we're gonna just, you know, maybe Terrence will rap a little bit. Thoughts, would you? Maybe he might not even be down. See, he might not be.
Voice like,
Yeah, he might want a pig squeal. You know, I mean, and I think that there will be times on our record that the distortion is the heaviest it's ever been, and then there's going to be times that I'm not drumming, which has never happened before. But on our next record, there's going to be times that it is a drum track. It's some guy with his keyboard, and I'm not drumming. So I mean, I think George has never had his distortion that thick, but he's gonna. You know, things are gonna change for us a lot. So
you have a song, "Race the Sun." I like to listen and play it, because it's about us leaving home, and it's got like a lot of reference to New York City, which is like our city. You know, we're a suburb of it, so it's really like where we're from. We go down a lot, and it's cool to the song's about like going out in the rest of the country, rest of the world. This, you know, missing your home, just like knowing where your home is and everything. So it's got a lot of meaning to it, and it's got a pretty cool solo that I do, so I like that.
I like Home With You, actually. It's kind of just about, again, going out and like just being pretty wild, but I also really like playing Race the Sun, especially because I don't have to sing the first half of it because he sings it, so I get a really nice break. Yeah, so especially with like the way our set works, it's very quick in between songs, you know. So I don't really get much of a break. And right then and there, I get to finally be like, okay, I can put the microphone in the stand, walk away, drink some water, take a breather, and feel okay for the first time in the whole set, you know.
My favorite song is definitely Race the Sun, and I like it for a lot of reasons, but some of the main ones is that I think about where we live from the other side of the country, which is really strange. It's something that people don't ever get to do. I think about like when I'm on the West Coast and when I think about home, about how it's like east of where I am, and that's really strange because we live on New York, where east is the water and there's like nothingness on the east. Every time like I think about, like, you know how some people are like, dude, I suck at directions? I'm awesome at directions. I always like have a good sense. We're here, we're there, we're this, that. And when I'm on that side of the country, I'm like, that's so weird that I live east of here. It just blows. It's almost like a fascination, you know? It's like just so bizarre. And me and George kind of wrote a lot of the concept behind it on the fly in his basement while Justin was like playing video games with George's little brother. He was like upstairs racing on a big. George has a huge HD TV, and him and George's little brother are like racing these cars upstairs, and I literally hear the engine like, and it sounds like there's a friggin' Mustang upstairs. And me and George are like, what are we gonna do? We gotta write a song about where we live. We gotta do it. And it just like, it just kind of clicked. It clicked. Like we almost thought about if like we were on tour and like home called us, like, and like we picked up the phone. That's like kind of what it would be like, which is it's completely retarded concept, but it's almost what it was like not just one person called us, like not, oh, if my mom called me or my girl called, like it's just like if the area could just pick up the phone while we're on that side of the country, what the hell would we say? And that's kind of what the lyrics came out. That's what they wound up being. And then we, of course, called Justin's like, oh no, one more race. And we're like, no, get downstairs. And, you know, Justin ran downstairs, and then we just finished it. And then that guy who just quit our band, who they were talking about, he had a riff that was saved. He had a riff that was, like, reserved, and he didn't know what to do with it. So the next practice came, and we were telling our band, like we were telling the rest of the guys, how we had this concept for a song about New York. And then our old guitarist was like, dude, can we use this riff? You know, is this riff going to work? And he played the riff, and we were like, dude, that riff totally works. And then George was like, I have an old riff. Let's see if it works with that riff. And then it turns out that with a little bit of a tweak in our old guitarist's random vaulted riff and George's vaulted riff that we've been trying to use for like 3 years, they work together. And when you hear that song, Race the Sun, the beginning is two riffs, two counter melodies. They both make sense. One is George's, it's 3 years old. One is our old guitarist, it's years old. And it just came together perfectly. And then from the rest, it was also one of the first times that the song wrote itself because we kind of realized our sound. So when it came time for the second chorus and it was time to do it full band, it wrote itself. We knew exactly. We were like, all right, the drums are going to do this. Like, anybody could have wrote the drums. I did not write them. Anybody could have wrote, like, anyone in our band goes, that's what John would do. And then the bass line was just like, okay, Justin, find where it goes. Justin knew how to strum it. Literally, there was no question on how that was going to be strummed because we were like, this is how we sound. It was one of the first times that we've been like, this is what people expect of us. This is what we're going to give them. And, you know, it just from, you know, I mean, it was a really good moment for us. And like I said, it's completely different to right now while we're writing because we're so experimental and we're like, wait, let's just, never mind the floral sound, what's anything out there sound like? So it's very different to what we're doing right now. It's actually complete polar opposites. So, I mean, I guess in a couple of months or a year from now when we look back on this interview, I guess we'll know we'll know what we were going for later on. Terrence, favorite floral song?
I like Hop's Lane.
Wow. See?
Old school.
Old school.
Start with John on this one.
Yeah. Okay, so this one time in Vermont, our van was breaking. We were in Maine. We were in Portland, Maine, and our van was breaking. And the thing is, Justin and George, I mean, I know a little bit about cars because I'm not stupid, but these guys actually work on cars and can fix them a little bit. So we're doing this whole test driving thing that, like, we're just jamming on the brakes. We're going, do you guys hear that? I don't know. And, you know, we're, like, kind of figuring out what's wrong. And a bunch of our fans recognize us. and they're going, Floral Terrace! And they're waving at us and all kinds of stuff. They're like trying to get us to smile, and we're literally like, do we need to get a tow from Maine? Like, none of us were in the mood to be happy. We were all like, do we need a tow? Are we screwed? Hold on, how much is a tow from Maine? Probably $1,000. Oh, should we junk the van in Maine? What are we gonna do if we have to, like, we're talking about some real heavy stuff, and these girls pull up behind us finally, and they're like trying to hang. They're like, oh, you wanna go get some food, you know, and we're just like kicking the tires and stuff. We're like trying to find out what's wrong with the van, and it was just the weirdest thing that's ever happened. Yeah.
That was actually exactly the story I was gonna tell.
No!
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, I kind of don't, to be honest. I mean, we don't really.
No, you do. Just dig a little bit. Just dig.
I don't really know. We have like a lot of like great fans, and not a lot of really weird stuff happens. Like, it's sort of all pretty.
Oh, I got a good one for you.
What?
That time when we were on tour with the Ready Set and our van blew up. Here's the part of the story that he can't tell because it takes too long. But I'll quickly, if you remember, after we killed it in front of all those people, you fell asleep when everyone wanted to meet you.
Oh yeah, I got woken.
Yeah.
I got woken up by like. I was like asleep on the couch. It wasn't really weird. It was kind of just like.
Just a moment.
Just a moment. Like all this stuff happened. I was up for like 2 days straight, and right after we played, I went and like fell asleep on like a couch like this, and then like, but it was in like a side, basically like this, like a side room.
Pretty much exactly where we are.
And like, I'm literally out like a light, and then like I get like shaken awake, and I open my eyes. There's like these 3 very good-looking girls, like, oh my god, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, hey, oh shoot.
Totally disoriented.
Oh, what's going on? Hey, ladies, what's happening? And then, of course, all these a-holes come up and grab me by the arm. I guess you met these ladies, yeah. And I'm like, oh, great.
Oh,
if I wouldn't have fallen asleep, baby. There you go. Well,
True story.
I had this fan, we showed up at a show once, I had this fan show up with a self-portrait she painted of me. Yeah, and she gave it to me. Yeah.
Where
and
was this?
She gave it to me, and I hang it up in my basement. It was actually pretty cool. It's not bad at all. It's like I'd say more of an acrylic kind of picture. It's cool. It looks like.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Like at the point we lost control, my hands are tied, you've got the road. I know in the morning you'll be thinking, 'cause I get what I want and I swear that I need it. And I'm making my way back home with you. And I'm not scared of consequence at all. And I'm making my way back home with you. And I'm not scared of consequence at all.
they have the stage, and then right in front of the stage, there's like subs that are sort of an extension of the stage. And I've played that stage before, but this particular. Seriously? I'm just gonna start texting. Let's see. This can be his blooper.
Hold on. Let me try an iPhone charger.
There we go. That's it. This is the cool thing to do. Look at this. Poker face. Just add this in. Just.
When I get access to that, I need to watch it.
What's the question?
I'm waiting. Let's start talking about movies.
Alright, keep going.
Back to you.
Oh. Alright. My bloopers.